Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar, where we sit down and talk with interesting professional guitar players, uncover their stories, and discover what makes them tick. If you love guitar, music, and the backstory of people's lives, stick around. You're in the right place. Hi, this is Craig. Just want to let you know you can now advertise here on Everyone Loves Guitar podcast. For more information, go to everyonelovesguitar.com/advertise. That's everyonelovesguitar.com/advertise. Hey, everybody, this is Craig Garber. Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar. And man, I've got a really special episode. Last August, I met Greg Martin from the Kentucky Headhunters. He's been the lead guitar player for like 60, 70 years, Greg?
Did you say 60 or 70? I've been the lead guitar player with the Headhunters since I was born in 1953.
There you go.
I was, that star was shining bright up in the sky, and the three wise men, and Fred and Anthony, they followed that star and they found me.
There you go, man. But I met Greg last August, and I am so privileged to have met him because he's just one of the nicest, most amazing quality human beings. And he didn't pay me to say this, believe me. He's honest. Anybody that knows Greg, he's just, not only is he one of my favorite guitar players, he's the tone that the man has is just phenomenal. But as a human being, I've learned a lot from him, and I'm so grateful that we got to maintain our friendship and talk on a regular basis and interact. And he's just a quality human being. And the Headhunters have a new album out, and I wanted to have him on the show to talk about it. It's a great record. And anyway, there you go. So we're here with Greg Martin. Greg,
thank you. Thank you for kind words. I must get that out of the way, but thank you so much.
You're welcome. The new record live at the Ramblin Man Fair. Tell me about it.
Well, as you know, for many, many years, our traveling out of the country was restricted because Richard had a problem with flying. And he just wouldn't do it. We had chances back in 1991, actually. I think it was 90 or 91. May have been in the 92. We had a tour offered to us with Dire Straits over in England. We were going to do it. But the Gulf War broke out, and that tour got pushed back. And then by that time, our touring was booked, and, we already had dates, so we couldn't do the Dire Straits thing, which would have been great. It would have been a great entrance into the UK. And we also had a chance to go to Japan sometime in the 90s, but I don't know whatever happened on that. It just never happened. So, it just got to the point where, and I had pretty much given up on it, Craig. We went to Canada every now and then. We would do a cruise every now and then and things like that. Or I did cruises with friends like Jimmy Hall, and I just pretty much got very comfortable with going, well, I'll probably never go to England, probably never go to Europe, and whatever. It was a dream. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a dream as we were kids. It was, heck, when I was growing up in Edmonton, Kentucky, thinking I might get to play at the Glasgow, Kentucky Armory was like a big thing.
There you go.
So when we went to New York in 1980, I thought, wow, this is great. And then going to England was like going to Mars. So it finally happened. What happened is, these things, they're funny how they work out.
Sure.
So I pretty much had just given up on it. So Blackstone Cherry, in the meantime, Richard's son is the drummer, and they're dear friends, great little band. And they go over to Europe and they just tear it up. They're doing great, and they're doing, they're really big over there. And they kept talking about us in interviews, and finally they cornered Richard and got us booked on the Ramblin Man Fair, and they got us also before that Sweden Rock. We went to Sweden Rock.
That's really
first.
cool.
Yeah, we did Sweden Rock. Actually, I remember the day we did it, some of the guys in the Vanilla Fudge were actually sitting in backstage. I thought, this is cool, man. There's Mark Stein, Vinny, and all them guys. Didn't see Carmine. He was around someplace. But anyway, so we did. We it was the first time Richard had flown in years. That's another story. He flew when I was with Ronnie McDowell. Richard worked with us in a different capacity, and we flew one time from Texas to Birmingham or somewhere. And he had an episode with flying. He didn't like it, and he would never fly again. But he did fly to New York one time back in 1980. But after that, back in the 80s, he just swore off flying. That was it. But finally, I think after the boys, kind of cornered us and got us on Sweden Rock and Ramblin, man, it was a done deal. We went to England, and it was because of Blackstone Cherry. It really was.
That's really cool. Where is Ramblin, man? Is that it's not in London, is it?
No, it's not London. I swear. Now, I can't tell you the town. It's in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm no good with all the, outside of London and a few other places, Newcastle and things like that. I'm not real good. But it was a very, very cool day. I mean, great day, because we get there and we were going to play with Blackstone Cherry. I see my buddy J.D. Simo that day. I saw Warren Haynes that day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were all playing the same afternoon. But folks, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the town.
No, it's all good, man. So, were there any differences, like noticeable differences between the way things run over there, like how a festival runs there versus how a festival runs here? And let me just say this. Greg's played some major festivals. The Headhunters played Farm Aid in 90 and 92. I would encourage you to watch the 92 video on YouTube. You can see Greg in boots. And no, 90 was boots. 92 was overalls.
Yeah, brown hair, had more hair.
Yeah. But man, you sounded great. I'll tell you what, both times. You always do. But was everything similar musically, or was there any differences the way they run things?
Well, no, I can't say that it's run much different. I mean, the crowd was amazingly good over there. And, we were on rented equipment or, borrowed equipment, and which tells me it came out just fine. In which, we all get tore up about not having, we flew our guitars over,
Okay.
So I took a brand new, I think at the time, like a 2017 Les Paul.
Okay.
That, stock Les Paul. And I was using a Plexi reissue Marshall 100 watt and a little 212 bottom. Richard was using a Marshall. Fred was using some type of drums that belonged to a band. There's a band over there called Bad Touch that was doing the tour with us over there. And we were just using their gear pretty much. But it sounds like the Headhunters.
It sounded
It sounded like the Headhunters. It's man, music is in your DNA. It's your sound. I got people come up to you and say, "Hey man, you sound like Clapton." Or if somebody does come up and say that, you go, "Well, I must not be doing my job." Right, I'm destroyed. But I really think the Headhunters, sounded like the Headhunters. It really isn't the gear that dictates it. It isn't some type of electricity difference over there. The crowd was great. It sounded like the Headhunters in the UK, just in a different spot,
It sounded great.
Thank you.
Really
thank you
good. I mean, it was a great recording, man. Was it all, because it's 13 tracks and it's almost an hour. Was that all one show, or is it two shows?
Some of the tracks on the album, as there's 3 outtakes from the Johnny Johnson sessions. Are you talking about those as well?
The live stuff, was that all from the same night?
Yeah, yes. The live stuff is all from the day at Ramblin.
That's great, man. You guys are on fire.
Well, the crowd, the crowd dictates how much on fire you are. And it was really, the funny thing is, we were playing in the afternoon, which would have been about the time I go to church on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was pretty interesting. You know, it was pretty interesting to be playing that early, but we had a lot of energy that day, and the crowd was just amazingly good. You know, we didn't really know. I had no idea. I don't think anybody else knew that they were actually taping the show. And our little house engineer, Josh Phelps, who's no longer with us, Doug's son, he was actually pinch hitting for our normal sound man, Steve Wilson, who doesn't travel abroad. And I thought he did a great job, you know, with the out front stuff going on. But yeah, hey, lo and behold, we had the tape. We came back and listened to it. The crowd was amazing, and you know, we had a performance. So there you go.
So you didn't realize it was being taped?
No, I had no idea.
Oh man, because
I never realized much of anything half the time.
Hey man, if you play that way, you don't have to realize anything, man. People, I'll tell you what, man. In fact, let's talk about a couple of songs. Because man, you were like shredding.
Really?
Yeah, like man. You like, yeah. You guys that Have You Ever Loved a Woman? I thought you were on fire. I mean, honestly, your tone was. You know, it's funny. I had a question here about when you're playing your normal. You know, your Les Paul with your Marshall. You were playing Les Paul and a Marshall, but man, your tone is just so. You know, you're like a Leslie West guy, where it's just very identifiable to you. It's extremely soulful. It feels good, you know, and it's very authentic. You know, you're just being you up there, man, you know?
Yeah, just I was using a borrowed 100-watt head, belonged to the guitarist in Bad Touch, the boys that were doing the little UK run with us, and I don't remember much about it. I know it had a master volume, which it's probably a little more gain, but I do remember it had an overtone, which means I think it has a filter cap going bad. So, and that's the type of thing, you know, if you fix that filter cap, it would probably be a little less aggressive, you know. I remember, but yeah, it was basically the same kind of amp I would use over here, you know, but a newer version, you know, a newer version of it.
Yeah.
But using my regular Les Paul that I normally use as well, you know.
Do you guys do, when you go overseas, or was there any special setlist considerations? Like, did you say, well, you know, did you go about picking your set list differently than when you pick a set list for here?
Well, we didn't really call from the picking on Nashville stuff as much, because I think we had realized that picking on Nashville, as big as it was over in the United States, it wasn't. I think the English people were more familiar with Electric Barnyard Forward, you know, it seemed like. And I don't believe any of the Picking on Nashville tunes are even on the live. I don't have a copy in front of me, but it's mostly stuff that was Electric Barnyard Forward, and plus some of the, you know, the blues set we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we didn't go back to the Picking on Nashville. And that was an intentional, I think. You know,
yeah, that's cool.
It was intentional. Yeah. We tried to rock a little more, the best we could.
No, you did. You totally did. The whole thing rocks. No, that's why I was curious about it, because it was less Southern and more hard, you know, harder edge stuff of your material that you normally do.
It could have been more like Itchy Brother would have been. I wish you could have heard our group Itchy Brother back in 1978. And there is some practice tapes of that stuff laying around, and someday I will make you a copy of it.
Yeah, man.
That's probably the best rock stuff I've ever played. I mean, I can't even get near that.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I mean, honestly, I wrote a note here, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but man, you didn't sound like him, but you were playing like Gary Moore. You know, you were really
really?
Yeah, man. And like, you were really on fire. Just like you were very aggressive that night in a good way. You know, I mean, you sounded phenomenal, man. It was just really, I mean, I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but it's always a treat and I've seen you play, and what was so cool is when you were down here and I stood on the side stage. It was like I was a clinic, man. I was just, I was studying everything, and everything went over my head because I could never do it. But, yeah, he did a great job capturing, your sound there and your tone, and just all of you guys were really on point that night, man. It sounded really good, which is hard to do, man, because you're there. You had like one night, right? Or two nights?
Oh yeah, one afternoon.
Yeah,
you know, you're on the spot. You just got to get it, and it's probably a good thing we did know the tape. You know, of course, a lot of credit goes to David Barrick, the boy that runs the studio here in Glasgow. He mixed it, you know. He does a great job.
Phenomenal.
Together. He did a few little tricks to make it a little extra special, but the big special stuff was really the crowd pushing us to play better. Anymore, Craig, I think that's what happens. I think you're at the mercy of the crowd. They're the show, man. We're you know, as Trapeze said years ago, we're just, you know, they're the music. We're just the band, you know.
Yeah, but that being said, you know, and he did a great job, David, but you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You guys, right? I mean, you guys sounded great. You know, I mean, it is what it is, man.
Thank you.
And then another tune I like was Wishing Well. We were talking about that before we started recording. It was from Electric Barnyard in 1991. Again, great soloing in there. Was there anything in particular about that song that made you choose it?
Well, it's a song that was an Itchy Brothers song. It's you know, the origins of that. Right when I left Itchy Brother in 1978, that song, we really had a good rock and roll band, and it's just a shame that disco and dance music took over when it did, because it kind of killed that whole scene. And I'm not complaining, but we probably one of the last songs we jammed on before I left to get a real job for about 6 months was Wishing Well. And of course the guys took it and wrote it, and I don't remember, they must have, it kind of come back to fruition during the Electric Barnyard days. It was actually written way back in 78, the end of 78.
Interesting.
You know, I remember us jamming one last time, and that was one of the snippets we started to write. And then I left, and they went on and done other things. I did other things, and then but yeah, it's a great story. Richard wrote that story. I mean, it really does have a great moral when you listen to it, man. You know, it's got a great message. I think the melody is great. Credit to Anthony Kinney, Richard, and Fred, because they pulled it together. They really pulled that song together.
It's a great song, man. It's one of my favorite Headhunter songs, and I didn't realize it was from Itchy Brother. And just it's not the same Wishing Well. So for people listening, who did that other Wishing Well? I know Gary Moore did a version of it, but Free. Yeah, it's a different song. Great song, man.
Yeah, there's another Wishing Well too by some pop artist.
Oh, is there?
Remember. Yeah, it's a whole different thing too. But yeah, it's a whole different song than the other two Wishing Wells, right?
Did you do Sweden Rock on this trip as well? I didn't realize.
No, same year. We did. Gosh, help me here, Steve. Sweden Rock was done around May or June of 2017, and then we came home, finished up on Safari. Then we went back to England and done our first tour. You know, that's how that. Maybe let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. Everything just runs. Maybe it was 2016. Gosh, everything runs together now. Probably 2016.
Was so now? How did Richard feel coming back? Like, how was his the overall experience for Richard? How was it?
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. So does he want to go back?
Absolutely.
Are we talking world tour now? Headhunters world tour.
Well. I'm just kind of.
I've never heard you not have an answer, Greg.
I don't know. You know, I mean, like I said, I was happy to go play Glasgow when I lived in Edmonton. So I guess as long as my family is well and I'm healthy and the rest of the guys are healthy and God's willing, you know, I'd say we'll do whatever it takes to take it out there to the peoples, you know?
That's right, man. What's the best place for people to get the record? And let me tell you, everybody, it's a really great record. I'm not just saying it because Greg is here. If you're not familiar with the Headhunters, shame on you. But if you are, then you're in for a treat. It's the same high level rock and blues. And Greg is just really on fire for all my guitar guys, which is like 99% of people listen to this. What's the best place for people to check it out?
Alligator has great distribution. Alligator Records. Mm-hmm. I can't say enough good stuff about Bruce Iglar and Alligator Records and the whole staff. So it's out there on Amazon. It's out there on any of the outlets. You can go out and find it anywhere. Any good independent record store that has a great blues section can get it for you. But any of the digital outlets have it too. It's awesome. Out there.
It's out there. And what's next on the short and long-term horizon for the Headhunters?
Wow. Well, promoting this live album this year, and we just got off the Southern Rock Cruise.
How was that?
It was fun. It was a blast. I got to see Greg Forrestman, Jimmy Hall. I got to see a lot of dear friends. One of my old guitar students, Kyle Daniels, was out there doing his thing, and gosh, it was a blast seeing a lot of the folks out there.
Very cool.
We had a great time. A couple of the guys came back sick. That's not good. I've got sinus stuff going on. Other than that, probably gaining about 3 pounds from the endless free buffet. Now I've got to rein my diet back in.
Man, but you look great. You've lost, just in the time I've known you, you've probably lost 15 pounds.
Well, actually, since about a year and a half ago, I probably lost about 35, 40.
Holy smokes, man.
But I probably gained five back during the holidays, but I'll lose those back real fast. I'm pretty good about reining it back and going, hey, and I just need to, because I got lower. My hands are okay. I don't have no arthritis in my hands. Thank God. But where I do have problems is lower back, so I have to keep the weight off.
Yeah, that's definitely correlation to that.
Yeah, man, so I walk usually every day, 5 miles a day, but today I probably won't get to.
And Greg's disciplined, because sometimes I'll call him and like, hey man, I'm walking now. I gotta go. I'm like, all right, man. Do you think? So he's super disciplined with it. So, but that's how you have to be if you're going to lose that kind of weight, man, and keep it off. You can't. You gotta take it seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's just important now. It's just, I have no choice. I don't really particularly like walking. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't just relish hey, I'm going to the wire. I'm going to track to walk. I don't like it, but I just know it's something I have to do.
Sure.
It's like, and the most important thing really is your diet. Really is. You got to stay away from excess chocolate and carbs and that stuff. And so basically I just made some life changes a couple of years ago. Really did.
Awesome, man. Well, you look great. And it's funny.
You,
I was embarrassed because I was sitting there eating a head of lettuce before. I don't know if you could see this. I was just eating this freaking.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. It's delicious. I like eating head of lettuce about as much as you like walking, but it's like, same thing, man. You got to do it,
I met the Otis boys last night at White Castle. And of course we were having a little fun meeting and having some fun, talking, catching up and stuff last night. We took my son Eric, and we had a great time.
That's cool. Those guys are great, man. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you guys for making this record. And I want everybody listening, please check it out. It's called Live at the Ramblin' Man Fair by the Kentucky Headhunters. If you only have time to check out a couple of songs, my favorites are Have You Ever Loved a Woman, of course, classic blues track, and Wishin' Well, which is from the Headhunters 1991 album Electric Barnyard. And as we found out today, originally written by Itchy Brother back in 1978.
I believe the origins happened around fall of 78, I think. Richard could probably. I remember barely jamming on part of it, but then I left to do other things. Life kind of intervened. But also remember, there's 3 bonus tracks from the last Johnny Johnson sessions too on there, tacked on, and our cousin Anthony Kinney's playing bass on those.
Oh, that's really cool.
He's a genius bass player, musician.
That's very cool. And like I said, it's an hour of music there, so it's real cool. So, Thank you, Greg. Thank the Headhunters. And any final words of wisdom?
God bless us all.
Yes.
Pray for each other. Love each other. Play lots of guitars.
There you go.
Tune those guitars, my Lord. Tune them. And get a big tone and have fun.
Get a big tone and have fun. That is the best closing I could ever have here, man. Greg, thanks for everything. And thank the Headhunters for making this great record.
And I am not Michael Bloomfield.
It doesn't make you a bad person.
I love Michael Bloomfield.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Everybody, listen, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, share it with a friend on your social media channels. We appreciate your help and support. Thanks again to Greg Martin, the Kentucky Headhunters. Thanks to Greg for spending time with us, and thanks to Greg and the Headhunters for putting out this great record. Please check out and support the Headhunters music live at the Ramblin Man Fair and all their. How many albums do you have?
8 or 10. I don't even know now.
It's a bunch. Yeah, and
There's
they're all.
A bunch. Let's see. Oh gosh, yeah. There was Picking on Nashville, Electric Barnyard. There was Rave On. There's so many.
Very cool. Well, support the Headhunters and make sure you go to everyonelovesguitar.com. Sign up to get on our newsletter list so you and I can connect. And most important, remember that happiness is a choice. So choose wisely. Be nice.
Absolutely.
Ain't it though?
Be happy, people. Be happy. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, man. It is important. Be nice. Go play your guitar and have fun. As Greg said, get a fat tone. Till next time, peace and love, everybody. I'm out. We hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, subscribe to the Everyone Loves Guitar podcast, and you can do this online at everyonelovesguitar.com or on iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star positive review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher our show ranks, and higher rankings mean we get to continue speaking with cool, interesting guests on our show. We'll see you on the next episode, and until then, keep playing your guitar and have fun making music.